Hello everyone, welcome and yeah, good morning everyone. So first of all, just want to say this video is very different from the video which I keep on uploading. This is something on a new thing which I am learning, exploring from some time. This is more on like astrology, like the planetary combinations, how it affects our like decisions, how we can like take a benefits based out of it. In short, you can say this is more on like astrology, zodiac sign, or whatever you say. This year is like bit interesting if you see like okay, so the video which I keep on uploading here on this channel, that's more on like a travel and other thing. There are lots of videos which is still there, which I will upload a bit later. But for regarding this video, this particular thing, let's talk on the astrology. This year is 2023. If you see like from the numerology perspective, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, it's equal to 7, and 7 is like a very mystic number. So this year you will see there are lots and lots of people who are getting into the astrology, mysticism, occult sciences. I mean, you recognize like even your thought process basically get more curious to know around like these things. What is this occult science? What is this astrology? So I thought to like let's have a video on this. I mean, we can take a reference of like astrology. When it comes to astrology, Western astrology, there is an Indian astrology, there is a Chinese astrology, and various small forms are also there. In Indian astrology, there is like a Lagna, there is a Navamsha. So how much this impacts in our life? So in my opinion, like we are like the smallest creature of like this cosmic world. How let's say when people die, like they I mean this whole body is like made up of like soil or mud, you can say. There is a soul and there's like mud or soil. In Hindu sculpture it's called like Panchtat, like 5 elements: water, air, soil, fire, right? So there are like 5 elements. Even if you leave the Hindu sculpture, like when people die normally they got converted into the soil, right? And soil is a part of the earth, correct? So anything which is happening around the earth, let's say earth starts spinning like 5 degree more, or like it starts like rotating less what it is right now rotating, or it just changed the axis, it impacts humans in a bigger way, right? There are a lot of catastrophic changes happens. In the same way, if there's some issues around the sun, there's like lunar eclipse, there is like a moon eclipse. So during these eclipse time, you will see there's a special attention given to like a mentally challenged people, because they are very prone of like the changes which are happening on the planetary side. So think in this way, like when there is like a full moon or new moon, the tides on the ocean rises a lot, right? And this earth is covered with like 70% of water. Our bodies are also like covered, is made up of like around 70% of water. So when there is a change in the ocean or the sea, why can't there change happen on our body, right? So there's a high people get like starts behaving differently whenever these eclipse happens. So this is just part of an eclipse. What about the other planets? Does other planets also affects? I think so, yes, it also affects, because we all have like some sort of like an impact when we are like born, so in some way. So you think, and this is like a very complex topic. Hello. So basically what happens, so when people born, at the moment when they are born, there's like a snapshot of like the planetary combinations. Snapshot of planetary combinations means at what degree the sun was there, at what angle the moon was there, the Jupiter was there, and all the other planets at what degree. So this is like some sort of like kind of an impact. So there are a lot of kind of like a different kind of astrology. One is a Western astrology, another one is Indian astrology, the third one is Chinese feng shui, those things. There are many verticals. Here I'm going to talk more in terms of like generic, then we can talk a little bit later on the Indian and the Chinese one, which I'm like learning. So when people born, there are a couple of elements. One is like what's the planet combinations at that point of time and how it gonna affect what would the general traits of the people. So this is like normally you can think in terms of astrology. If you look into the religious side, like there is something called like in Gita there's a term called like different kind of karmas are there. One is like the karma which you are bringing it from the past life. One karma is basically like which you are bringing it from the ancestor. Another type of karma which you keep on doing in your life and you starts getting the results after forwards. You might have noticed that if you got something really good and exceptional, or if you are in like a good amount of pain, or like in a pain, and if you think a little bit harder, little more, you will realize that there is something similar, a good or bad thing you have did it in the past, maybe 1 year back, maybe 5 years back. It just keep on reminding. So everything is kind of like a balance. But there are a few things which are like non-balanced, which we inherited it from like past life or from like ancestors. If you look the medical science also says like we inherit like the lots of properties from our like parents. Let's say let's assume like someone is an Indian, their parents would obviously be Indian. Like if some parents is like someone parents is Asian, their children would most look like Asian. So on the genomic side we can like easily like think, okay, if there's an Indian parent, their children would most likely look like an Indian. Definitely it would not look like an Russian or like some Western part of the world. If the parents are Western, definitely their children will look like an Western, not someone else. So there are like certain qualities on the gene side, DNA side we inherit. But apart from that we also inherit like some certain qualities. Let's say someone dad is like hothead, like someone who gets angry very fast. So their children, like there's a high chance either that their children gonna inherit like some sort of qualities either from dad or mom. I'm not saying it cannot be changed or not, it can be definitely changed, but by default there's like some sort of settings which we inherited from like our ancestors. Right, so this is like the second element. So this astrology is basically a combination of like the religious things or like some sort of a old science which we are like taking it from the civilization. Second thing is the modern science, right? And third thing is like our emotional or intellectual, like how we can think around it, so whether we are able to like connect the dots or not. So we're gonna talk a lot around this. I think next few videos, but I'll give you like some, if you are already like, if you are interested in like knowing this, I'll give you like some sort of like a predictions, like how you can predict the people or you can predict the behavior. So in Indian astrology there are like 12 houses. If you see like any charts of Indian astrology, there are like 12 charts, 12 houses. First house is like your ascendant is basically your overall like personality, how you gonna be. Second house is like your childhood. Third house is basically your like kind of like neighbor. Similarly, 8th house is more on like occult mysticism, like any hidden knowledge. 9th house is more on like ruled by Jupiter. 10th house, 11th house, 12th house is for like moksha, like if you want to attain the eternity peace, like what are the planets. So there are like different houses are there are like different zodiacs are there, or zodiac sign, whatever you say. So it starts like Aries, like goes to like